been months of work on both houses of Congress and both sides of the aisle. And we are proud to announce today that our nation's capital will feature statues of the first two women to serve on the United States Court, and that is Sandra Day O'Connor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And I'm going to say more about this in a minute, but introduce everyone who is here. But I first want to introduce the Speaker of the House. We are so pleased that Speaker Pelosi is here and that she helped, along with Congresswoman Frankel and along with my colleagues, Senator Sinema, Murkowski, and Collins, to get this done. But it is truly an honor to introduce to you the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi.
Thank you very much, Amy, for calling us together this afternoon. I salute you and the other senators. Senator Sinema is maybe still with us here, but she was here to begin with and getting us launched. And with my colleague from the House, Congresswoman Frankel from Florida. She was relentless and persistent and demanding, and she had a ready audience and other members of Congress. Let me say why I'm so excited about this. Of course, because of the greatness of these two women. Imagine being the first woman on the Supreme Court after all the years, the history of our country, and to say it's one thing to be first but not to be last, in that spirit of Sandra Day O'Connor. Of course, we in California take special pride in the Stanford connection and the rest, but and then the notorious RBG, really to have her in the Congress as well. When I became Speaker and even just leader, one of our goals in our caucus and working in a bipartisan way was to have more diversity in the Congress. How could it be that this great country got to the place where it is was all those white men who were in the Capitol? So we had Rosa Parks, who helped us plan her statue before she left us. She said, I want to be sitting down. Sojourner Truth, she was not with us when we planned hers. So many other people of color and women in the Capitol. But this is something that people know very well, have seen in their lifetimes, these two women be so courageous, so confident in what they brought to the table. So it's an honor to be here with you, Congresswoman Klobuchar, as chair of the Rules Committee, so important in making this happen. And as I say, anytime you want to get something done in the House, just ask Lois Frankel. She will make sure that it happens. It's an honor to be here with Scott O'Connor, the son of Madam Justice, as well as his wife Joni, and Professor Kelsey Corcoran, who was a clerk to Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You'll hear from them. But I want you to know how excited the members of Congress are, the pride that we take, and the lesson it will be for all young girls and others who walk through the Capitol to see the recognition, well-deserved and appropriate for these two great leaders of our country, for our country's history, making a difference for our country's future. With that, I'm pleased to yield back. Oh, I don't know what the timing is. Do we? I know it's going to be you, Klobuchar, but do we have a design? Do we have a sculpture? Do we have whatever it is? I'm sure you'll have it all taken care of. So the sooner, the better. And with great appreciation to Chair of the Rules Committee of the Senate, Amy Klobuchar. Once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And again, thank you to Congresswoman Frankel, and thank you to Senator Sinema, who was here earlier, Senator Murkowski and Collins. The four of us sponsored this bill in the U.S. Senate. Also, Congresswoman Dean is here, I know, the co-chair of the Bipartisan Women's Caucus. And I also wanted to recognize Congresswoman Lofgren, who I don't think is with us, but is the chair of the House Administration Committee that helped make this possible as well. As the Speaker mentioned, Scott O'Connor is here. I had so much fun calling Scott to tell him that we got this done. I don't think people ever believe sometimes we actually pass bills, but we do. And I think he was pretty surprised, as well as his wife, Joni, and then also Professor Kelsey Corcoran, Corcoran, who's here, who is at Georgetown Law and was a former clerk for Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Kelsey is going to be sharing a message from their family. As the speaker mentioned, the Capitol is our most recognizable symbol of democracy, a place where people all over the country go to visit. I was just with a school group today, their eyes wide open as they see our beautiful Capitol. And the issue is that right now it is full of statues that depict so many Americans that, yes, helped shape our republic, but those fortunate enough to spend time in the Capitol quickly notice it's a whole bunch of guys. In fact, of more than 200 statues in the Capitol, only 14 feature women. That's right, 200 statues in the Capitol, only 14 feature women. When I once brought up the similar numbers of senators in the Capitol on the Trevor Noah show, Madam Speaker, he said, if a nightclub had those numbers, they'd shut it down. But we are not shutting the Capitol down. We are opening it up by adding to the numbers for women. We plan on adding more people of color as well to the Capitol, and the Speaker mentioned some of this under her guidance has already occurred. But this is a special day for two families and for honoring two incredible women. Justice Sandra Day O'Connor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg were two leaders who opened the doors for so many women in this country at a time when so many insisted on keeping them shut. Sandra Day O'Connor rose from an Arizona cattle ranch to the highest court in the land. Even after graduating in the top 10th percentile of her law school class at Stanford, she struggled to find work as an attorney, period, stop, as an attorney in the 1950s. But she persevered. She took an unpaid job as a deputy county attorney in California just to prove herself. And through the rest of her career, she did that over and over again. She was later appointed to the County Superior Court in Arizona and then the Arizona State Court of Appeals before making history as the first woman to serve on the Supreme Court. When she left the court in 2006, after serving for 25 years, her commitment to our nation never wavered. I saw her when she came and testified in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee about civics. She founded a nonprofit dedicated to civic education. As I told Scott, I saw her in Arizona once when I did an event with Gabby Giffords. She shared her love of our democracy with the next generation. We're also, of course, honored to join the clerk of Justice Ginsburg and her family, who I've also talked to many of times remotely here, to honor her, the notorious RBG. Not everyone gets a viral nickname in their 80s, but she did. She entered her law school class at Harvard as one of 9 women and ultimately graduated from Columbia, first in her class. Despite her intellect credentials and glowing recommendations, she was rejected for a Supreme Court clerkship because she was a woman. Little did that justice know, who rejected her, that Ruth Ginsburg would one day walk through the same halls as the justice herself, because in 1993 she was confirmed to the United States Supreme Court. As we all know, she never gave up and never stopped advocating for the advancement of women. When you look at her opinions, it's clear she wasn't just writing for today, she was writing for the future. As a rabbi said at the beautiful memorial that Speaker Pelosi helped organize in the Capitol, Justice Ginsburg's dissents never read like cries of defeat. They were blueprints for the future. We like to say that about some of the bills that were waiting around in the U.S. Senate. This legislation is about more than refreshing the artwork in the Capitol. Let us make that clear. It's about making sure that when anyone walks through the halls of Congress, they know that women have a place in our country's history and thus in our country's future. Thank you so much, and I would now like to recognize our colleague Lois Frankel, and then we will hear from Scott O'Connor, Kelsey Cochran. Thank you very much. Lois.